Come to a comfortable seated position where your legs are relaxed and your upper body long. If your knees are not below your pelvis, then sit on the edge of a cushion to encourage them downwards. Place the hands gently on your knees or in your lap, and then lower or close your eyes. Gently allow the pelvis to settle, to begin to feel heavy, and the back and the front of the spine to feel long. And now find your breath. To begin with, don't try to change the breath in any way, but just gently follow the inhalation and the exhalation as they happen naturally. Try to think of creating space in the body for the breath. Imagine the rib cage deepening and widening. Imagine that this is creating more space, so gradually, slowly, the inhalation and the exhalation can become a little bit longer. Breathe here for a few moments, allowing the body to begin to open. Now focus on the exhalation. As you exhale, get the sense that your pelvis is being drawn into the ground, increasingly responsive to gravity. And then when you inhale, feel that from the very stable, heavy base of the pelvis, the spine is growing taller and longer. Just continue to breathe here, settling the mind on the breath and enjoying the two-way movement of the spine. Exhaling and grounding down, inhaling and elongating. Exhaling and grounding down, inhaling and elongating. Now clasp your hands in front of your chest, taking your arms to shoulder height. Breathe here. Then on an exhalation, take your arms up over your head. Stay rooted in the pelvis and keep the elbows soft so that you don't hunch in the shoulders. Remain focused on your breath. Gently take your right arm down and place it on the floor beside you, lifting the left arm above your head. Keep the pelvis firmly planted as you inhale, and then exhale yourself into a side bend. Breathe here gently. Inhale and release the arms. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Feel long along the left-hand side of the body and spacious in the belly. Inhale yourself over and then gently breathe here. Inhale and come up, and then gently roll out the shoulders, first one way, and then the other. And then come to sitting with your legs outstretched. Gently begin to circle the neck, being careful not to let go too far at the back. Going one way, and now the other. And then returning your head to the center, feeling that it is centrally placed upon your shoulders. Now breathe here a moment to ground down in the pelvis. Release out through the legs, extending through the feet and pointing your toes towards the ceiling. Feel the contact of the legs with the floor, and as you exhale, imagine that they are getting a little heavier. Continue to be attentive to your breath. As you inhale, imagine that you are lifting the torso out of the pelvis, making space for your baby. And when you exhale, feel strong in the lower half of the body. If you feel tired at any point, you can use a wall for support in this position. Continue to breathe. Now inhale your arms up over your head, keeping the arms soft, and then gently come forward on an exhalation. Don't force the forward bend, but allow yourself to settle at a point that feels comfortable for you. If it is easier to come forward with the legs slightly apart, then do so. Feel that the spine is lengthening out in two directions, with the tailbone being drawn down into the ground and the upper back releasing up through the neck and the head. Check that you're not hunching in the shoulders and that there is still space in the front of the body for your breath. Now gently look up on an inhalation, and as you exhale, come back to the center. Now taking your legs out wide. Do so gently, being careful not to overstretch in the pelvis. During pregnancy, the joints soften in preparation for labor, and whilst we should take solace in this, we need to be careful not to exaggerate this in any way. Extending out through the heels, inhale your arms up over your head, and as you exhale, feel long out of the waist. Think of the spine as having a front as well as a back, and try to stay long in the front of the spine as you come forward. Placing the hands on the floor in front of you, and breathe here. Now looking up and then gently walking your hands back to the center. And then coming to look out over your right leg. We're going to come into a twist, so just work to where you feel comfortable, depending on both your flexibility and your stage of pregnancy. Taking yourself round in several breaths, working the twist slowly up the spine. And finally coming to look out over your right shoulder. Hold the twist here, but be careful to continue to breathe fully. And now release and take the twist to the other side. Again, move in stages with the rhythm of your own breath. Allow the twist to work its way up the spine as though you were wringing out a towel. Breathe gently here. Now inhale and untwist the spine, bringing the legs back to the center. Draw the right leg up, gently rocking in the hip. And then place the foot on the floor against the outstretched leg. Now draw the left leg up, rocking gently. Place the soles of the feet together, bringing yourself to Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. Keep the feet a generous distance away from the pelvis to avoid overstretching. If you feel the need to use cushions beneath your knees to ease the stretch in the hips and the inner thighs, then do so. If it feels comfortable, curl your fingers round your big toes and then gently draw up on them, feeling long in the middle of the back. And if you want to, you can try gently coming forward. Get the sense that your pelvis is opening up for you, gently preparing you for the eventual birth of your baby. Now inhale, and as you exhale, return to the center, coming round to a kneeling position. Use a cushion beneath your pelvis to make the position more comfortable or to tilt the pelvis forward. Think always of guiding the baby into the best possible position for birth, which is when its spine is hammocked against your belly. And now settle the pelvis. Be careful not to arch in the lower back, and then find your breath. Use the exhalation to find a weighty base to the posture. Bring your hands to prayer position at the chest, taking several long, deep breaths. Focus your mind on the warmth between your palms. Lift the hands above your head on an exhalation and gently inhale. On the next exhalation, take the hands apart and allow the arms to float towards the floor. Repeat this arm sequence using your own breath as a guide. Inhale. And on an exhalation, bring the arms down. Settle back down in the pelvis, allowing the arms to hang loosely by your side. On an inhalation, lift the arms above the head and come to upright kneeling. As you exhale, release the arms and return. Do this 4 more times with the rhythm of your own breath. Feel the space you create in the body with the inhalation. One more time, and then releasing down. And coming to an all-fours position, placing your hands directly beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath the hips. Spread your fingers out wide like starfish and feel the contact of your palms with the floor. Relax your head and allow your neck to be long. As you exhale, get a sense of being drawn down into the earth. Gently begin to rotate the pelvis, exhaling more deliberately through your mouth and into the floor. Move in whichever direction feels comfortable, massaging out the lower spine with the rotation. This position will also help coax the baby into the best position for labour, and it helps to take the weight of the baby off the spine. Now gently rocking forwards and backwards, taking a little bit of weight into the wrists and releasing back over the legs. If your wrists feel sore, just work within your own comfort zone. Returning to the neutral tabletop position, and we're going to come into a cat stretch by tucking the pelvis under and arching the spine. Drop the head between the shoulders. and then gently reverse the position, lifting the head and drawing the shoulders back. Do not arch too acutely in the lower back. And now repeat this in your own rhythm. Looking up, and then dropping the head one more time, feeling heavy in the pelvis. Then returning to the center. Then taking the knees apart and coming to rest in child's pose. If this is uncomfortable for any reason, then remain more upright, coming down onto your elbows, or even keeping the arms straight. Wherever you are, feel wide and long in the back, and begin to allow the outside world to retreat, gathering your attention up in the back of your mind. Rest here a moment or two longer. And then coming gently back up to kneeling. Tuck the toes under at the back and bring the hands into prayer position. Sit back on your toes and open up the feet. If this is uncomfortable, then come to simple kneeling. Breathe here, being careful not to arch in the lower spine. Now gently release the pose and bring yourself up to standing. Come to the middle of your mat, taking your feet hip-width apart, with the outside edges of the feet parallel, in line with your mat. You will feel a little knock-kneed at first, but having the feet this way helps to open up the sacrum at the back of the pelvis. Spend a few moments feeling your feet actively being drawn into the ground, and check that the weight is evenly distributed between both feet. On an inhalation, take both arms up to shoulder height. Drop the left arm and raise the right one, gently taking yourself over into a side bend. Feel the space increase in the upper body, as though you are drawing your chest off your baby. Inhale, and now release the right arm, bringing the left arm over your head. Bend to the right, feeling long all the way from the left foot to the middle finger of the left hand. And breathe here. Gently release the arms and then return to Tadasana. Take the right foot back and turning it out 45 degrees. Inhale the arms to the back of your body, and on an exhalation come forward over the outstretched leg. If you prefer to hold your hands at the elbows, then do so. Keep the hips square and the chest wide. When you're ready to come up, bend in the front knee and push into the floor. We'll do the same on the other side. Take the left foot back and out 45 degrees. Watch your hips as you come forward and check that they remain square. Breathe gently here. And now bend in the front leg to come up and return to the center. And now coming down to a comfortable seated position, we're going to take the hands to the knees and prepare for some breathing. Settle the pelvis and relax the body. Use a cushion beneath the pelvis to allow the spine to gently relax. Allow the shoulders to fall gently away from the ears. Feel that the base of the body is heavy and the spine naturally long. Bring your attention to your breath, watching it again as you inhale and as you exhale. Notice if the quality of your breathing has changed in any way. Feel into the body as you breathe, looking out for points of tension. If you find such a point, then inhale into it, and as you exhale, imagine the tension dissolving away with the exhalation. The exhalation is a wonderful tool in labour to enable you to breathe away each contraction. And focusing on this releasing can be a remarkable tool for coping with the intensity of labour. If we hold on, we create tension. If we let go, we release it. Continue to breathe here a few more moments, simply inhaling and exhaling gently, allowing the tension and the thoughts to fall away with every exhalation. If you find yourself becoming distracted, then gently acknowledge the distraction and come back to your breath. And now taking one final deep breath before coming to lie down on your left-hand side for relaxation. Make yourself comfortable using a cushion beneath your head and further cushions beneath your legs if you need them. Begin to release down into the ground. Take your mind through your body, beginning with your feet. If you come across a point of tension, breathe gently into it and exhale the tension away. Move slowly up your body, taking your attention to your calves. Breathe into them and exhale there. Now moving up to your thighs. Feel the weight of the thighs releasing into the floor as you breathe. Now gently bring your mind to your pelvis. Feel that the pelvis is heavy, that it yields to gravity with every exhalation. Now bring your attention to your belly and to your baby inside your belly. Imagine your baby curled up inside you. As you breathe in, imagine your in-breath washing over your baby. And as you breathe out, feel how your belly draws your baby closer to you, as though you are gathering it up with a hug. Breathe here softly, appreciating the time you have to focus on your baby and your very unique relationship at this moment. Now gently move your attention to your chest, feeling light in the chest. Check in with the back of the body, the rib cage, and the shoulder blades, breathing any residual tension away. Now focus on your neck. Relax the neck. And now bring your mind to your face. Feel that your face is soft, that the jaw is relaxed, and that the eyes are sitting softly behind the eyelids. Check that your forehead is soft and allow your whole head to gently release into the cushion, giving itself up to the floor. Continue to breathe here a moment more, feeling a sense of relief that you have nothing more to do in the mind or the body, but to simply let go. And there is no rush, but when you feel ready, open your eyes and gently come back up to seating. Bringing your hands into prayer position and taking 3 long deep breaths to complete your practice. Come to a comfortable seated position. If you need to, you can use a cushion to tilt the pelvis slightly forward. Sitting this way will gradually encourage your baby into the optimal position for labour, with the baby's spine lying against your belly. Place the hands gently on your knees or in your lap, and then close or rest your eyes. find your breath. Don't try to change it in any way, but gently follow the inhalation and the exhalation as they happen naturally. Notice the quality of your breath, its natural length, and where it travels to. With every exhalation, imagine that the pelvis is getting weightier and your tailbone is being drawn down into the floor. As you inhale, imagine your spine is getting longer, growing up and out of the top of your head. Breathe like this for a few cycles of the breath, inhaling and growing taller, and exhaling and feeling gravity drawing you down. Now begin to rotate the shoulders, first one way, and then the other. Think about bringing the shoulder blades apart at the back, as though you were giving yourself a miniature massage. Then lifting the shoulders up to the ears and releasing 3 times. And then gently coming back to the center. Clasp your hands together and take your arms up to shoulder height. Breathe here. Then inhale and take your arms over your head, being careful not to hunch in the shoulders. Unclasp the hands and let them return to the floor. Inhale, clasping the hands. Exhaling them over your head. Releasing the hands and allowing the arms to float down. And one more time. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring your hands into prayer position at your chest and breathe gently. Now stretch your legs out in front of you. Begin to massage into the legs, working down the thighs. Avoid the ankles and work into the backs of the knees, opening them up. Rotate the ankles first one way and then the other. And then shake out the feet. Now extend out through the heels, feeling your spine lengthen out of your waist. Check to see that your sitting bones are still firmly planted. And breathe here. Feel lovely and long in the front and the back of the spine. Now take your feet out a little wider and wrap your belt round the balls of your feet. Pull up gently on the belt, being careful not to create tension in the shoulders by hunching forward. Now gently inhale, and as you exhale, bring your chest forward towards your toes. Try not to lose any of the length in the front of the spine. Tuck the chin under to gently lengthen in the neck. And breathe here. Now inhale and look up, and exhale and release the belt, bringing your feet back to the center. Bring the right foot up, gently rocking in the hips. Place the foot by your left thigh, leaving some space between the two. If there is pressure in the knee, then take the foot further down the leg. Wrap the belt round the outstretched foot, and then draw up, gently lengthening in the back. Keep the chest open, and then use the belt to draw yourself towards your toes. Stay relaxed in the shoulders, and breathe gently into any points of resistance in the spine or the leg, and exhale them away. Now looking up gently and releasing, we'll swap sides. Bring the left leg up and rock in the hip. Place the foot down and adjust your sitting bones so your pelvis is balanced. Take the belt around the foot and extend up and out of the waist. Coming forward with a nice long back. Check that the neck is still long, the shoulders are soft. And on the next exhalation, releasing the posture. Now bring both legs together, joining the soles of the feet. If you feel comfortable, draw gently up on your toes. If this position feels strong in the hips, then use cushions. Gently breathe here, allowing the knees to fall away from the body. Think of ironing out the curves in the spine that get so exaggerated in pregnancy, particularly towards the end. Gently inhale and exhale. Now release the hands and, leaving the pelvis firmly planted, begin to twist towards the right leg. Move in stages with the breath until you are looking out over your right hand shoulder. In late pregnancy, this need only be a very small movement. Breathe gently wherever you are. And now inhale and coming back to the center. And exhale and turn the other way, moving in stages again. And feeling the twist gradually moving up the spine. Look out over your left shoulder. And release the twist now. And take your legs out wide. Bring your hands down in front of you to gently support your back. Feel very open in the pelvis. Now take your right hand behind you. Lift the left arm up over your head and gently come across into a side bend. Make sure your left sitting bone remains firmly rooted to the floor and that you don't collapse in the right side. Inhale and exhale gently here. And then come out of the pose by sweeping the extended arm in front of you, spiraling out in the spine. We'll come to the other side. Exhale over. Check your right hip is firmly planted. And then using that sweeping movement, releasing the arms and returning to the center. And find your breath before then coming to sit between your knees. After taking your hips wide, this is a lovely way to contain the hips and the legs to keep their development balanced. If it is uncomfortable, then sit up on cushions or a rolled blanket, or alternatively just come to simple kneeling. Settle down in the sitting bones, feeling for them to check that you are well balanced in the pelvis. Feel that the pelvis is sturdy and strong, providing a stable place in which to contain and support your growing baby. And breathe here gently, establishing the base of the posture and feeling lovely and long in the spine. Now gently draw the right arm up and bend in the elbow. You can exaggerate the stretch with your left hand. Feel as though you are yawning your armpit open and creating space in the whole right-hand side of the body. Now release the left arm and reach round to clasp the hands together. Use a belt between the hands if you can't reach. And gently releasing the arms, we'll come to the other side. Inhale the left arm up. Breathe here. Release the right hand and reach round to clasp the hands together. Or use a belt if you need to. And now releasing the hands and the legs, coming onto all fours. Place the hands beneath the shoulders and make sure the knees are in line with your hips. Drop the head to release the neck and breathe here, enjoying the hammock you've created for your baby and the pressure being taken off your spine. This position is wonderful for all stages of pregnancy and a very useful way to spend a lot of the first stage of labour because the pelvis is wide and mobile and the senses can be contained. Take the right leg back into a calf stretch, extending through the heel. Now gently lift the leg so it's in line with the hips. If you feel stable, then lift the opposite arm to shoulder height, feeling long from fingertips to toes. If this feels uncomfortable, just work with either the leg or the arm on each side. Now releasing gently, and take the left foot back into a calf stretch, extending through the heel. Now lifting the leg and lifting the arm, feeling long from toes to fingertips. Breathe here. And then gently release and return to all fours. We're now going to do a simple sequence, cat to dog to child's pose. Begin by tucking the tailbone under and dropping the head, arching your back up towards the ceiling. Now gently release the pelvis and lift the head, allowing the back to dip but not to sag. Now tuck the toes under, and as you exhale, lift the pelvis up into dog pose. In late pregnancy, or if you're suffering from heartburn, you can do half dog with a chair instead. Keep the weight in the legs and the elbows soft. Now gently bend the legs and release down into child's pose, taking the knees wide. If this is uncomfortable, then stay up on your elbows and breathe here. Coming back to all fours, and we'll repeat that sequence. Inhale and tuck the pelvis under, drop the head and arch in the spine. Then release and allow the back to dip, looking up. Now tucking the toes under, lift the pelvis as you exhale, taking the weight into the heels. Exhale the knees down to the ground and draw them apart, releasing into child's pose. Breathing here, allowing the senses to withdraw. And then gently returning to simple kneeling. Settle the pelvis and the breath. Check that the back is long. And then still working with the breath, inhaling and coming to upright kneeling. Taking your arms above your head. And exhale, sit down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Feel the lightness in the upper body with the inhalation. And allow the arms to be soft. Then coming to simple kneeling and tucking the toes under. Gently come back to sit on your feet, bringing your hands into prayer position. If this is uncomfortable, then return to simple kneeling and just work with the hands. Now coming forward, release the hands and tap out the feet. And we're going to return to the position twice more. Inhale and exhale here, checking that the back is long and the chest is open. Feel that you're radiating from the belly. Coming forward to release. And coming back one more time. Breathing here gently. And one last breath before tapping the feet out. And then coming up to standing. Bring your feet to hip width apart, making sure the outside edges of the feet are parallel. Allow the knees to be soft but not bent. As you exhale, get a sense that gravity is pulling your leg down to the floor through your feet. Feel the contact with the earth. Imagine that you're like a tree, and that your legs are the trunk. As you exhale, imagine you have a network of roots that grow from your feet, giving breadth and depth to your posture. And from this rooted base, imagine as you inhale that you're drawing energy up from the ground, giving length and lightness to the upper body, like the branches of a tree. Check that your shoulders are soft and that your head is placed lightly in their middle. Breathe here, enjoying this feeling of gravity and the lightness in the spine. We're going to wake the feet up by coming up into a balance, using the rhythm of the breath. So inhale the arms up over your head, lifting up onto the balls of the feet, and exhale down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Do this a few more times to the rhythm of your own breath. And now gently returning to Tadasana. On the next inhalation, take the arms up over your head and extend out of the waist for a moment. Then inhale, extending out of the hips. Draw yourself down into a forward bend. Use a chair if you need to. Breathe here gently, enjoying the release in the spine. Now inhale and look up, and bending in the knees, push into the feet to come up slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Return to Tadasana for a moment, and then take the legs out wide, standing side onto your mat. Adjust the feet so that they're at about 45 degrees. Inhale your arms up to shoulder height, and then take your hands to your hips. On the next exhalation, come down into an upright squat. Think of the pelvis opening and feel strong in the legs. Work with the rhythm of the breath, building strength for labor and feeling the grounding power of the exhalation. Imagine that as you squat, you exhale deliberately into the ground, giving up tension to the floor and opening the pelvis up to its maximum. Keep the back long and the chest wide. Now come down and hold the squat and take the right elbow to the right knee. Take the left arm up over your head and reach over into a side bend. Inhale and exhale here. And then return to the center and release the legs for a moment. Come back down to a squatting position, taking the arms the other way. Feel long down the left-hand side of the body. Now release the arms and bring the feet parallel. Bring the arms back up to shoulder height. And inhale, and then as you exhale, clasp your hands together at the back of the body. Draw the hands back, feeling open in the chest. And now inhaling, and as you exhale, draw out of the waist and bring yourself forward into a forward bend, lifting the arms to where they feel comfortable. Now gently release the arms to the floor. Breathe here. And then bending in the knees, roll up gently. And return to mountain pose at the front of your mat. Find your breath. Take the right foot out to the side once more, placing it at 90 degrees and allowing the left foot to turn in. Keep the hips square to the side of the mat. Inhale the arms up and then reach with the right hand. Allow the arms to gently swivel like a windmill. If you feel more comfortable working with a bent front leg, then do so. Think more about staying open in the chest and the hips than about reaching the ankle or the floor. If you feel comfortable, turn to look at your left hand. Inhale and come back to the center. Take the left foot out and bring the right foot in. Reach with the middle finger of the left hand, keeping the hips square. And then allow the arms to rotate gently. Turn to look up at the right hand, but only if you feel very stable. Breathe here. Check that the hips are still open. And gently release, and then return to Tadasana. Bring the hands to the chest in prayer position and breathe here for a moment. We are now going to come to a balance. Begin by transferring the weight to the right leg, lifting the left foot off the floor and playing with your balance. If you feel unstable, use a chair to support you. Hold your knee and find your balance. Then take the knee out to the side, place the foot against the standing leg. Take your hands into prayer position at your chest. And if you feel stable, you can then take them up over your head. Breathe here gently. And then gently releasing, and we'll come to the other side. Transfer your weight to your left leg and lift the right leg from the floor. Lift the knee, and then take the knee out and find your balance once more. Stay long in the back and continue to breathe really deeply. Relax your shoulders. And then take your hands over your head if you feel comfortable. Be steady. And then inhale and release the arms and release the legs. We're going to come into a deep squat. If you are in late pregnancy or are suffering from any pelvic pain, then do not do this pose. Take your feet slightly wider than hip width apart and turn the toes out slightly. Inhale yourself into a forward bend and then bend in the knees, gently bringing yourself down into a deep squat. Hold the position only for so long as it feels comfortable and breathe here. Now gently inhale and push yourself back up into a forward bend, turning the feet in and releasing out in the spine. Breathe gently here. Now inhaling and looking up, bend in the knees and push into the feet, coming back up to standing. Take your hands into prayer position to steady the breath. And then we are going to come down to sitting for breathing. Find a comfortable seated position and place your hands on your knees. Begin to quiet the mind by focusing gently on the breath. If thoughts come to you, acknowledge them, but don't follow them. Instead, allow them to dissolve with the exhalation, like clouds in the sky, and then gently return your mind to your breath. Watch the inhalation and the exhalation as they journey through the body. See where they go to, and notice if the body and the breath feel lighter and longer after your practice. Breathe here gently. After the next inhalation, gently follow the exhalation to its natural conclusion. Notice that at the end of the out-breath, just before you naturally inhale, there is a gentle, subtle pause, a rest that occurs before you breathe in. Try to rest your mind in this pause, allowing the mind to feel as though it is expanding into the space created by the breath. Do this several more times, returning your mind to your breathing and to the natural pauses between each breath. If you find that your mind ever wanders. Now gently come down to rest on your left-hand side, placing a cushion beneath your head. If your legs feel uncomfortable, then prop yourself up with more cushions. And now really begin to let go of the body. Feel the weight of your body releasing into the floor. There is now no need to hold on to anything anymore. So check through your body to see if there are any points of residing tension. And if there are, breathe into them and let them dissolve away with the out-breath. Bring your attention to your baby. Imagine its little body curled up inside your own, warm and contained and floating. If you have begun to feel your baby already, notice if they are moving and playing, enjoying the extra space created when you stretch out the torso in this way. Or notice if they are quiet and still, lulled to sleep by the gentle rhythm of your breath. As you breathe, feel the in-breath wash over your baby, nurturing it. And as you exhale, feel the breath leaving your body and the baby being drawn closer towards you. Lie here for a few minutes longer, enjoying the sensation of breathing, and knowing that in this simple act, you are already taking care of your child. Now gently bring your awareness back to the room. Begin to hear the sounds around you, inside and outside. There is no rush, but when you feel ready, take 3 lovely long deep breaths and gently open your eyes. Come up to sitting and take a few more deep breaths before finishing your practice. Bring your hands together into prayer position, breathing deeply 3 times to complete your practice. come to a comfortable seated position. If you need to, use a cushion to elevate your pelvis and encourage your knees gently down towards the floor. Feel the sitting bones evenly planted on the floor and begin to draw your attention to your breath. Get a sense that gravity is pulling you downwards, establishing the base of your posture as you exhale, imagining that your tailbone is being gently drawn down into the floor. Now as you inhale, sense that you are growing taller. It is sometimes useful to imagine that there's a golden thread running along your spine and out the top of your head. Exhale and feel your tailbone grounding down, as though someone is gently pulling the thread from below. And now inhale and imagine that someone is gently drawing up on the thread, ironing out the curves in the spine and giving lightness to your upper body. Begin to notice the sensations in your body as you breathe. Try not to change your breath in any way at first, but rather allow yourself to be breathed, as though your body is responding to your breath, and your breath to your body. You don't need to force anything, but rather as we become conscious of the breath and allow our body to unravel, both will change and open and lengthen of their own accord. Spend a moment or two longer just watching the body and the breath. Gently begin to rotate the shoulders, waking up the upper body. Try to ensure that the movement is not isolated to the shoulders, but that the whole upper back is involved, as though you are giving yourself a massage. Now change directions, taking the shoulders the other way. Remember to breathe. And then release. And take the head gently across to the right, using your hand to exaggerate the stretch if you need to. Breathe here. And now gently release, taking the head the other way. Release and bring the head forward, feeling the stretch down the back of the neck. And then gently bringing the head back up to the center. Take your right hand to the floor and then lift the left arm up and over your head, taking yourself across into a side bend. Breathe here. Feel long down the left-hand side of the body and check that the left hip is still firmly planted on the floor. Now inhale and release and come across the other way, feeling the extension down the right-hand side of the body this time. Feel as though you are lifting your torso out of your waist, creating more space for your baby. Returning to the center, and now lifting both arms above your head and extending out of the waist, coming into a comfortable forward bend. Only come so far as you can. And breathe here. Feel wide across the shoulders and soft in the arms. Now inhale and lift the head. And then release the legs, taking them out in front of you. Extend out through the heels, feeling the contact that the legs make with the floor. Feel lovely and heavy in the pelvis, rooted to the ground. Breathe here, feeling that as you inhale you are lengthening in the spine, as though you are breathing space between the vertebrae. And now inhale again, and as you exhale, wrap the belt around the balls of your feet. Draw gently up on the belt to lengthen in the spine. Check that your shoulders are soft. And now inhale and begin to gently draw yourself forward, keeping your chest wide and your upper body relaxed. Continue to extend out through the heels and feel the head being drawn towards the toes. Feel that the back of the spine is moving in two directions. Breathing gently. And then inhale and release. Now draw your right leg up so that the knee is bent and the foot is placed on the floor by your outstretched leg. Draw up gently on the knee, lengthening in the back. Now inhale the right arm up, and then coming to the inside of your bent knee, gently draw yourself forward. In later pregnancy, this might not be very far, but just work wherever you are comfortable. Now gently release, but keep your right arm on the inside of the bent leg, and gently twist away from that leg, drawing yourself round to look out over your left-hand side. Inhale and exhale gently here. Feel that the front of the spine is long. Now releasing and coming back to the center, and we'll do the other side. Draw the left leg up, bending the knee and placing the foot on the ground. Keep some space between the foot and the thigh. Now draw up on the leg, extending out of the waist, and then lifting the left arm, reach for your right foot. Inhale, and then as you exhale, bring your head towards your foot. Inhale and look up, and then we're going to twist around to the right side, turning to look out over your right shoulder. Breathe gently here. And now releasing. Draw the right leg up again, this time gently rocking in the hip. And then place the foot down beside the thigh. Breathe here a moment. Then take the belt and extend it round the foot of your outstretched leg. Inhale, and then draw yourself down over that leg. Breathe here, still feeling wide from shoulder to shoulder, and very, very long in the back. Now inhale and release, and change sides. Rock in the left hip. And now place the foot down and draw up gently on the spine. Use the belt and inhale the spine longer before gradually drawing yourself over and into a gentle forward bend. Inhale and exhale here. And now inhale, and with an exhalation, come back up. Bring your right foot up to meet your left foot, bringing the soles of the feet together, using cushions beneath the knees if it makes it more comfortable. Curl your fingers around your toes if you can, and breathe here, feeling yourself radiating from your belly. Feel the knees falling away from the hips and encouraging your pelvis to gently open. Now release the toes and inhale your arms up to shoulder height, bringing them together at the back of the body, either into reverse prayer position, or if that is uncomfortable, then holding onto your elbows. Breathe here, opening up wide in the front of the chest, imagining that there is a big smile from one shoulder to the other. Now gently release and take the legs out wide. Draw yourself forward onto your sitting bones and spend a moment or two grounding down through the base of the body. Inhale the arms up over your head, feeling as though they are a natural extension of the spine. And then gently exhale yourself into a forward bend. Breathe here. Check that the feet are still extended and the base of the body heavy. Feel soft in the shoulders. Now looking up gently, walking your hands back to the center. Now looking out over your right leg, take the belt and wrap it around the right foot. Inhale and gently draw yourself down towards your toes. Feel the gentle twist in the spine. And check that your left hip is still firmly planted on the floor. Returning to the center and establishing the base of the pose again before coming down the other way. So using the belt and coming down on an exhalation. Enjoy the openness of the hips and the pelvis in this position. Feel lovely and long in the back. And check to see that both sitting bones are still firmly planted. And now releasing and bringing your feet back to the center. Bring the right knee up and then weave the left leg under it, making sure that the left ankle is not in the way of your right sitting bone. Inhale, and as you exhale, draw the right leg across the left one, coming into cow pose. If this is uncomfortable, then come to any version of this position, just ensuring that the sitting bones are still even and the spine is still long. Settle here, focusing on the breath. Feel heavy in the pelvis and lovely and light in the upper body. Now inhale the arms up to shoulder height and bring them round, left arm over right, into a hug. Breathe the shoulders down. Then if you can, twist the forearms so that the palms meet. Alternatively, bring the backs of the hands together or just keep the arms where they are. Draw your senses inwards, focusing your mind on the point of contact between the hands and the forehead. Now gently release the posture, unraveling the legs, and we'll do the same on the other side. Bring the left leg up and weave the right leg underneath. Draw the left leg across and settle back down in the pelvis, finding the contact of the sitting bones with the floor. Breathe gently here. Now inhale the arms up and draw them across the chest. Breathe the shoulders down, allowing them to fall away from the ears. And then twist the arms into the final position, bringing the hands together at the forehead. Breathe here, using the contact with the face as a point of focus for the mind. Now gently releasing the arms, releasing the legs, and coming round to kneeling. Settle down into kneeling, feeling heavy in the base of the body. Check to see that you're not arching in the lower spine and that you feel long in the back. Now inhale the right arm up over your head and rotate in the wrist, allowing the arm to fall back into the body. Feel long down the right side of the body. Now bend at the elbow and circle the left arm, reaching round to take hold of the right hand. If this feels uncomfortable, then use a belt, as shown in the insert on the screen. Breathe here. Feel that the armpit is being yawned open, and feel lovely and wide across the chest. And now gently release and roll out the shoulders. Now inhale the left arm up, rotating in the wrist. And bend at the elbow and reach round with your right hand to catch the left. Notice if one side is more resistant than the other. And breathe into any resistance. Feel that in this position you're drawing your chest off your belly and creating extra space for your baby. Now release the arms and come forward to release the legs with a calf stretch. And other side. And now come back into all fours, checking that the palms are placed directly beneath the shoulders and the knees are beneath the hips. Spread the palms like starfish, feeling the contact that the hands make with the floor. Breathe into the hands. Begin to roll in the hips. This is a position that you might find very comfortable during labour, because the weight of the baby is taken off the back and the pelvis is free to move and be open. And rotating the other way. And then returning to the centre and coming into a cat stretch. Drop the head, drop the pelvis, and draw up on the spine. Inhale and exhale, and then reverse the posture. Lift the head and gently arch in the back. Using your breath as a guide, come back the other way. Imagine that you are rolling and massaging out the spine, freeing it up to become longer and more fluid. Now one more time in both directions. And then coming back to the centre. Gently take the knees apart and release down into child's pose. Relaxing here. If this is uncomfortable, then remain more upright, either on your elbows or your hands. Breathe here, enjoying the gradual retreat of the senses. And while we are here, we can gently practice drawing up on the pelvic floor muscles, working to strengthen them in preparation for labour. Now inhale and look up, and gently coming up, drawing the knees together. Now tuck the toes under and come into Indian Goddess. Sit back on the feet and hold the palms together at the chest. Breathe here. If this is uncomfortable, just use simple kneeling with palms together instead. Now come forward and tap the feet out. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, and as you exhale, come back onto the feet, palms together. Feel the feet opening up and check that the back is still long. And tapping the feet out, and we'll come back one last time. Inhale and exhale, releasing through the feet. And then come to simple kneeling. Now lift the right leg up, placing the foot on the floor in front of you. Check that the hips are square and breathe down through the points of contact on the floor. Take your arms to your side, and as you inhale, bring your arms up and come into a lunge. Exhale down and inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up, and exhale down. Work with the rhythm of your breath. And now release and change legs. Inhale up and lunge forward. Feel the stretch in the right thigh. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Continue to breathe. Now release out the legs with a gentle calf stretch. First one side, and then the other. And then come up to standing at the front of your mat. Take your feet to hip width apart and release down through the feet. Make sure the outside edges of the feet are parallel. Feel the contact the feet make with the floor. Feel into the balls of the feet, the heels, and then gently draw up on the insteps. Feel the spine lengthening out of the waist, as though you are being drawn from your rooty base up to the ceiling. Feel wide from shoulder to shoulder, opening up in the front of the chest, and check that the neck is long and that the head is light. Inhale and exhale here, feeling this lovely two-way direction of the spine, the yielding to gravity, enabling you to lengthen and elongate quite naturally. Now breathe the arms up over the head. If you have high blood pressure, just work with one arm at a time. Inhale and clasp hold of the right wrist with the left hand, and then as you exhale, draw yourself across to the left side. Focus on the right foot. Check that it is firmly planted, and breathe into the right side of the rib cage. Inhale and return to the center, and then swap the hands over. Now draw yourself gently over to the right side. Now releasing the hands and bringing the arms back down to your side. Take the right foot back and the left foot forward. Turn out the back foot to help stabilize yourself. Check that your hips are facing forward and really plant the feet. Take your arms up to shoulder height and then bring them together at the back of your body, either in reverse prayer position or holding onto your elbows. Alternatively, you can just keep your hands on your hips. Inhale and keep focused on the back foot as you gently come forward from the hips. Keep your chest wide. Tuck the chin under to stay nice and long in the neck. And breathe here, feeling into the feet. When you are ready to come up, push up in the front foot and roll up. Return the legs to the center and walk the feet out. Now bring the right foot forward and take the left foot back. Adjust the hips. And then take the hands to the back of the body. Inhale and exhale here, finding the base of the pose. Then gently inhale, and as you exhale, come forward over the extended leg. Check that you're not holding your breath, and feel long in the neck. Then inhale and look up, and pushing into the front foot, gently come back up, walking the feet out. And then returning to Tadasana, bringing the hands to the chest, and taking 3 deep breaths to settle the mind. We are going to do a modified version of the sun salutation, so come to the front of your mat. Breathe here, grounding down through the feet. Now inhale the arms up over your head and come into a comfortable forward bend. If you need to use a chair at this point, then do so. Breathe here with your hands on the floor, bending your knees if you need to. Now take a step back and come into downward dog, keeping the elbows soft and the back long. And breathe here, edging the heels towards the floor. Now release the legs, bringing the knees to the floor. And bring the right foot up to the outside edge of the right hand. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the left knee up. Bringing yourself into a long lunge. Breathe here. And now release the left knee, and then push up, taking your arms up over your head. Release down through the points of contact with the floor, and be careful not to hunch in the shoulders. Now release the arms and come back to all fours. Change sides. Inhale the left leg up, placing the foot on the outside edge of your left hand. Straighten the right knee and draw yourself up into a long lunge. Feel long in the back and still wide across the chest. Bring your knee down and come to an upright position. If you're comfortable, take your arms up over your head. Inhale and exhale here. And now releasing back to all fours, and then leading with your pelvis, bring yourself back into downward dog. And then coming back down, draw the knees apart to accommodate your baby, and release down into child's pose. If you're tired, continue to rest in child's pose, withdrawing the senses and following the breath. Otherwise, coming back up, and we're going to do that sequence again. Inhale your arms up over your head, and then come into a forward bend. Breathe here. Inhale, look up, and then walk your feet back into downward dog. Inhale and exhale here. Look up, and coming down into all fours. Bring the right leg up, and then lift the left knee. Lunge. Bring the left knee back down to the ground, and now inhale the arms up over your head. Watch the shoulders. Release and return to all fours. And now bring the left leg up, and lifting the right knee, come into a lunge. Bring the knee back to the floor and lifting the arms. Breathe here. Releasing the legs. And now drawing yourself up into downward dog, feeling lovely and long in the back. Now taking the knees to the floor and coming down into whichever version of child's pose feels most comfortable for you. Allow your breath to settle. And now inhale and gently coming back up to standing. Now turning side onto your mat, take your legs out wide. Feel the contact of the feet with the floor. Lift the insteps a touch to give a lightness to your stance. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Then exhale the hands to your back. Use reverse prayer position or hold the elbows. Now inhale your chest wide, and as you exhale, bring the upper body forward. Don't come too far. And use a chair if you'd prefer. Now gently bend in the knees and come up to standing. Turn the left foot out and bring the right foot in, squaring the hips to the side of the mat. Taking the arms up to shoulder height and look out over the middle finger of the left hand. Inhale and exhale here. Now bending the front knee, come into the archer pose, feeling strong in the legs. Now bring the left arm down to the left knee and lift the right arm up and over your head. Breathe here, releasing at any point if it feels too strong in the legs. Now releasing the arms and release the legs, taking the feet the other way. Inhale the arms up to shoulder height and look out towards the right arm this time. Exhale and bend in the right leg and breathe here. Now bring the right arm to the right knee and inhale the left arm up and over your head. Feel firmly grounded in the feet and long all the way down the left-hand side of the body. Then exhale and gently release, returning to the center and bringing the feet parallel. Inhale the arms up and extending out of the waist, bring yourself down into a forward bend. Keep the hands in front of you and the back long. Release down a little bit further if that feels comfortable. And then bending in the knees, gently coming back up to standing. Roll out the shoulders and then return to the front of your mat. Bring your hands together at your chest and steady the breath. We're now going to come into a balance. Take your weight over into the right foot and lift the left leg. Use a chair to steady yourself if you need to. When you feel ready, take hold of the left foot at the back. Pull up on the foot and draw down in the thigh, feeling lovely and long through that left thigh. Breathe here, and if you feel comfortable, bring your arm up over your head. Now either remain where you are, or if you would like to take the balance further, draw yourself forward, leading with the back foot. And then release, and we'll do the other side. Inhale the right leg up, releasing down through the left foot. Catch hold of the right foot at the back and release down through the knee. Take the left arm up over your head, and then if you feel comfortable, you can inhale and gently exhale yourself forward. Release, and then return to Tadasana, feet hip width apart, and spend a moment grounding down. Now gently coming down with your legs outstretched. Ground down through the pelvis for a few breaths. If you are in later pregnancy or suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome, then go straight into a forward bend, or just continue to sit whilst we do this next posture. Bring your hands behind you with your palms firmly on the mat. Inhale and release up through the back, beginning to arch in the spine. As you exhale, lift the pelvis, pointing the toes down to the floor. Hold here, keeping the head forward and releasing at any point if this feels uncomfortable. Now coming back to sitting, and inhale the arms up over your head. Come into a comfortable forward bend to release the spine in the other direction. Be soft in the shoulders and continue to breathe. And now gently release and come to a comfortable seated position in preparation for breathing. Use a cushion to release the back. And now settle down in the position, feeling the sitting bones being drawn into the floor. Begin to focus the mind on the breath, not trying to change it in any way, but simply noticing the quality of the breath. Notice if it has changed since the beginning of the session. See if it feels longer, if the body feels lighter. See if there are still any points of tension that might be restricting your breathing. If there is such tension, breathe into it and imagine it dissolving away with the exhalation. Notice the extraordinary capacity of the exhalation to relieve the body of tension, and imagine using it to help you cope with the most trying parts of labour. Following the inhalation and the exhalation, just as they happen. If the mind starts to wander, just acknowledge the distraction and bring your mind back to your breath. As you inhale, watch the inhalation. And in particular, watch for when the inhalation turns and becomes the exhalation. And then follow the exhalation, watching for when it turns and becomes the inhalation once more. One long, continuous thread of breath that begins the moment we are born, and which stays with us throughout our life. So gently breathe here a few more moments, settling the mind and just watching the breath. And now coming down to lie on your left-hand side for deep relaxation. Use a cushion beneath your head and more beneath your legs if you need to. Begin to completely let go of the body, releasing down into the floor, enjoying the comfort of the earth beneath your body. Feel into the body for tension, and if you find it, exhale it gently away. Return the mind to the breath and enjoy the stillness that this gives you, a respite from the constant flurry of thoughts and distractions that usually fill our mind. Imagine that you are going deep into the back part of the brain, that instinctive brain that has all the knowledge and wisdom you need to birth your baby, naturally and comfortably. That part of the brain that emits the hormones that direct labor. Have faith in the incredible capacity of your mind and your body to open up for birth, so long as you allow it to do so. Continue to rest here, breathing deeply and letting go of both your body and of your mind. We have now come to the end of your yoga session. There is no rush at all, but when you feel ready, take several long, deep breaths, opening your eyes and returning to a seated position. Bring your hands together into prayer position, breathing deeply 3 times to complete your practice. Birth is an incredible journey, one that draws on all of a woman's resources, physical, emotional, and psychological. By preparing the mind and the body, we can approach labour in the best possible state, an open one, and increase the chance that our labour is a powerful and a positive experience, and one which will beneficially influence our lives and those of our children for many a year to come. Yoga's very meaning, union of body and mind, make it the perfect vehicle for birth preparation. Throughout pregnancy, a woman's body is subject to changes in alignment and tensions, and yoga is a wonderful means to maintain the integrity of the spine and to release unnecessary tension from the body, imbuing the pregnant woman with energy and vitality in its place. Since time immemorial, women have been active in labour, and yet social convention and medical convenience have increasingly sought to immobilise them. Across the world, women are made to lie on their backs, often with their legs in stirrups, and commonly subjected to overt scrutiny by doctors or midwives. Yet science and experience have testified to the benefits of a woman being active, moving, rocking, and changing position as her body and instincts suggest. Labour is significantly shorter and much less uncomfortable when the woman has the freedom to move. Regular practice of yoga positions, particularly those that involve opening and releasing the pelvis, attune a woman's body to the possibility of active positions and enable her to feel comfortable in them, both physically and emotionally. The beauty of yoga is that it does not work solely on the body, but also on the mind. Yoga helps to facilitate the ability to lose oneself to the process of birth, enabling us to rely on instincts and our hormones to direct us. The form of yoga that this pregnancy DVD is based on is inspired by the teachings of Vanda Scaravelli and her pupils. This yoga emphasizes the spine and gravity, two elements that are of utmost importance during birth. Throughout the practice, you are encouraged to yield to gravity, as a tree does with its roots. In doing so, you should begin to feel a corresponding elongation and extension of the spine. This yoga, like all other forms, also encourages us to focus on the breath, the importance of which in birth cannot be underestimated. Awareness of our breath and an understanding of the extraordinary grounding capacity of the exhalation is of enormous benefit in helping a woman cope with her labour, as well as with the inevitable demands that face any new mother. There are 3 sessions available on this DVD, each one a little longer and more testing than the last. During each session, alternatives to the pose will be shown in a box in the corner of the screen. It's not advised to start you practicing yoga before 14 weeks pregnant, and though gentle inverted postures are safe for the pregnant woman, they should not be practiced after 36 weeks. If you suffer from high blood pressure, avoid taking the hands above the head, and if you suffer from pelvic discomfort, then undertake each pose with the utmost care, avoiding all wide-legged postures. The point of pregnancy yoga is to gently prepare the mind and the body, but not to overtly test it. Yoga is a way of exploring your own body and its particular strengths and its limitations, so work gently and do not undertake anything that causes you pain or discomfort. I wish you well in your yoga practice and in your birth.